Hey, welcome back. Tonight's lineup is a chaotic mix. We've got a 911 dispatcher thriller, a gothic family mystery, a hunting trip gone catastrophically wrong, and a spy couple who might be sleeping with the enemy, literally. Psychological, crime, survival. This list hits every flavor of thriller, and a few of these are seriously underrated, the kind of movies that should be way more talked about than they are. Some of these will mess with your head, some will just flat out stress you out, and that's exactly the kind of range I wanted for this one. So pull up a chair, here are 10 thriller movies you need to watch. Number 10, Relay. This one's a slow burn corporate thriller, and it sneaks up on you. Riz Ahmed plays a professional fixer, the guy whistleblowers call when they need to anonymously negotiate with the company they're exposing, without ever revealing their identity. He's spent years building a reputation for staying invisible, never taking sides, never leaving a trace. Then Lily James's character brings him a case that doesn't follow the usual rules, and suddenly his careful detachment starts cracking. The wildest part is how procedural it feels, almost like watching a masterclass in tradecraft instead of a typical chase movie. Every payphone and burner device matters. I'll be honest, the pacing tests your patience in the first act. The setup takes its time to pay off. But once it locks in, the tension is genuinely unbearable, and the cat and mouse stuff in the back half is some of the tensest filmmaking of the year. If you're into quiet, paranoid thrillers where every move feels calculated, this corporate thriller deserves way more attention than it got. Number 9, Side Effects. Rooney Mara plays Emily, a woman whose depression spirals right as her husband, played by Channing Tatum, gets released from prison after an insider trading conviction. Her psychiatrist, played by Jude Law, prescribes a new drug to help her cope, and that's where things start unraveling in directions I didn't see coming. What starts as a fairly grounded story about mental health and marriage slowly tilts into something far more calculated, and the shift happens so gradually you almost don't notice it happening. Steven Soderbergh directed this, and the way he sets up one movie and then completely pulls the rug out is what got me hooked. The first half plays like a quiet domestic drama, then it turns into something far colder, and Jude Law's character ends up just as trapped in the fallout as everyone else. My only gripe is that once the twist lands, a rewatch loses some of its punch. You're watching for the mechanics instead of the mystery. But as a one-time gut-punch psychological thriller, it's sharp, clinical, and genuinely surprising. Number 8, Before I Go to Sleep. Picture waking up every single morning with no memory of your own life, your husband, or how you got the bruises you can't explain. That's Christine's reality, played by Nicole Kidman, and her husband Ben, played by Colin Firth, has to reintroduce her to her own existence daily, patiently explaining the same facts over and over. A doctor secretly helps her keep a video diary to piece together fragments of her past, and what she finds doesn't add up. Small inconsistencies that start to feel less like memory loss and more like deliberate gaps. I went in expecting a quiet domestic drama and got something closer to a slow-motion panic attack, the kind where you're never quite sure who Christine can actually trust. The twist isn't subtle once you spot it, which is the main knock against this one. Sharp-eyed viewers will likely call it early. Still, Kidman sells the disorientation so well that this amnesia thriller stays gripping even when you're a step ahead of her. Number 7, The Girl on the Train. Every day, Rachel rides the same train past the same row of houses, and every day she watches one couple she's built an entire fantasy life around. Emily Blunt plays Rachel, an alcoholic still raw from her divorce, and when the woman she's been watching suddenly vanishes, Rachel realizes she might actually know something. The catch is, her memory is full of blackouts, so even she doesn't fully trust what she saw, and neither does anyone investigating the case. Honestly, what got me was how unreliable the narration feels. You're constantly questioning Rachel right alongside everyone else in the story, second-guessing every flashback right along with her. The book's fans will tell you this adaptation softens some edges, and they're not wrong. Some of the rawer character details get smoothed out for the screen. But as an unreliable narrator thriller, it's still a tense, voyeuristic ride that earns its twists, and Blunt's performance carries a lot of the heavy lifting. Number 6. Black Bag. Married intelligence officers usually keep secrets from the rest of the world, not from each other. But that's exactly the problem here. Michael Fassbender plays George, a methodical agency man tasked with finding a mole, only to discover his own wife, played by Cate Blanchett, is one of the suspects. Steven Soderbergh directs this with the kind of cold precision that makes every dinner party scene feel like an interrogation. The whole movie practically plays out across a handful of rooms. Here's the part that hooked me. This espionage thriller turns marriage itself into the central mystery. Trust becomes the actual plot device, and every glance between the leads feels loaded with subtext. If there's a flaw, it's that the runtime is so lean some side characters barely register. You might want a second viewing just to track everyone. But the chemistry between the leads and the sheer tension of not knowing who's lying makes this one of the smartest spy thrillers in years. Number 5. Stoker. After her father dies in a car accident, India Stoker, played by Mia Wasikowska, meets an uncle she never knew existed at the funeral, and he moves in the same day. Matthew Goode plays Charlie with this unsettling, magnetic stillness, and Nicole Kidman plays India's mother, who seems a little too comfortable with his sudden presence, like she'd been waiting for him to show up. Park Chan-wook directs this gothic psychological thriller, and every frame is dripping with style, symbolism, and dread. This is the kind of movie where even a piano lesson feels threatening. If you're someone who loves slow-burn atmosphere over jump scares, this one will live in your head for days. It's divisive. Some people find it too cold and stylized to connect with emotionally, and I get that critique. It does keep you at arm's length on purpose. But the visual storytelling and the sheer unease Goode brings to every scene make this a hidden gem worth the patience. Number 4. The Call. Jordan, a veteran 911 operator played by Halle Berry, takes a call from a terrified teenage girl, played by Abigail Breslin, who's locked inside the trunk of a moving car. The catch is, Jordan's voice is the only thing standing between this girl and whatever the kidnapper has planned. And Jordan's already carrying guilt from a call that went wrong before, so this case becomes personal fast. The premise alone had me gripping my seat, because the entire back half plays out almost in real time, with Jordan trying to feed instructions through a cracked phone connection. Anyone who gets anxious during phone call thrillers is going to feel this crime thriller in their chest, in the best way. Every dropped call feels like a small heart attack. The third act goes fully unhinged compared to the grounded setup, and that tonal whiplash is the main criticism people have. Honestly though, that escalation is exactly why I can't stop recommending it. Number 3. Caliber. Two lifelong friends head into the Scottish Highlands for a weekend hunting trip, and within the first night, one of them makes a single split-second mistake that can't be undone. What follows isn't really about the accident itself, it's about the cover-up, and how fast trust between friends rots when the entire village starts looking for answers, including a local cop who's clearly suspicious from the start. Jack Lowden and Martin McCann carry this thing almost entirely on tension and body language alone. You can watch the guilt eating at them in real time. What makes this work is how slowly the noose tightens. There's barely a wasted scene in this cover-up thriller. It's a quieter, grimmer watch than most movies on this list, which might not be for everyone craving constant action. But if you want something that genuinely sits with you after the credits roll, this overlooked thriller earns every bit of its discomfort. Number 2. 10 Cloverfield Lane. Michelle wakes up chained to a wall in an underground bunker after a car accident she barely remembers, and the man who pulled her from the wreckage, played by John Goodman, insists the outside world has just ended. Mary Elizabeth Winstead plays Michelle with this incredible mix of fear and sharp survival instinct, never fully buying Howard's story, but never able to fully dismiss it either, especially when the small details start lining up too well to ignore. The premise traps you right alongside her. Is Howard a lunatic, a liar, or the only thing keeping her alive? And the movie keeps shifting your answer scene by scene. I expected a quiet bottle episode and got a full-on nerve shredder instead. The claustrophobia here is suffocating in the best way. The ending swings in a completely different direction than the rest of the film, and that shift divides people pretty hard. Still, as a survival thriller built on pure paranoia, this one earns its spot near the top. Number 1. Drop. Violet goes on her first date in years, trying to move past an abusive relationship. And within minutes of sitting down at dinner, anonymous messages start hitting her phone. Megan Fahey plays Violet, and the messages, the drops, demand she kill her date before the night ends or someone will hurt her son back home. And every excuse to leave the table gets shut down fast. The entire movie unfolds in real time inside one restaurant, with a killer who could be anyone in the room, the waiter, another guest, even her date himself. The premise alone made my stomach drop, no pun intended, because the paranoia never lets up for a second, and the movie keeps finding new ways to twist the knife without leaving the building. If you love single-location thrillers where the walls feel like they're closing in, this is the one to watch this year. The tech thriller hook could have felt gimmicky in lesser hands, but the tension never lets up, and that's exactly why it's my pick for number 1.